Hello, hello. Happy Thursday. It's Thursday at the time I'm recording this video or podcast or however you are accessing this amazing little piece of content. I have some exciting things to share with you today. I'm really excited about this because I'm going to be sharing my client success stories. And I'm excited about this for so many reasons. Number one is it's just awesome to see the transformation that happens for people in this program. This is why I'm so dedicated to it and excited about the Mindful Dating program, is that I see its effectiveness in other women. And that just inspires me to want to go out and tell more and more people about how this program works. And if you're looking for a partner and you don't have one, this is something you should really think about trying if you've been looking for a while and it hasn't been successful. If you've been in and out of relationships that are unsatisfying, that feel toxic for you, that where your needs don't get met, definitely think about the Mindful Dating Intensive. If you're saying to yourself or your friends, I just need to work on myself first, or if you have a friend who's saying that to you, that's what this program is all about. And I want to tell you exactly how it helps people and how people have benefited and share some of the client success stories. Just one caveat or disclaimer is I will be renaming the clients. I won't be using even the right first name for any of these stories. I have the story tagged with the client's real name, so there might be a hiccup as I try to make up a name in my head for this person that I have in mind to share with you all. So I'm going to break this up into immediate benefits people have within the first few weeks of the program, and then experiences that are better in their dating life. So things that happen when it comes to dating. And then I'm going to talk about partnerships and the partnerships that have resulted from someone's involvement in the Mindful Dating program, and talk about the difference that has made in their lives. So we have, I've clients in a variety of places in that dating and partnership spectrum. So I'm going to share with you what people experience. So I'm going to start with the immediate benefits. And I'm 3 different benefits that I want to talk to you about. And there are 4 different clients that have experienced these benefits. I'm going to call the first client M and C. So there's a client M and C. And both of these clients at different times have shared with me right away within the first 3 weeks maybe of being in Mindful Dating that they were experiencing better communication and connection with primary family members after just 3 weeks in the program. One of my clients, Cynthia, did give me permission to use her first name, and she was my client back in December. And after the holiday season, when she came back to the Mindful Dating group, she said, my kids and I have just had the best Christmas we've ever had. Her kids are 25 and up to 30, and this is their best holiday season in 30 years. They're in the aftermath of an ugly divorce, learning some really unpleasant things about their dad. It's all been difficult, and yet they had their best holiday season ever because of what Cynthia learned inside the Mindful Dating Intensive and what she started learning already by the 3rd week. My client M also said she was better able to navigate the situations with her family of origin. And I have another client, M, so 2 different clients with first initial M, who said the same thing. She's like, oh, after, the 3rd or 4th week, I've been better able to talk to my sister about these things that were issues for us since high school, since childhood. So that's the first thing that people start to experience is ease and flow in other relationships. And I have several clients who comment on that right away. The next benefit that people have is, I guess I'll call it, they're internally unknotted. So they come in with like a lot of angst, a lot of anxiety, kind of wound up tight, a lot of internal dissatisfaction, self-criticism, criticizing other people. And then by about the 4th or 5th week, this is sort of sliding off. This sort of stress that people carry around as a background is sort of sliding off. So the client was like, oh, this is already working. I can already feel a difference inside my mind just by the time I'm in the 5th week. This is already working its magic on me. It's already getting easier. I'm already having an easier time being self-led. I'm already feeling calmer and more confident. So there's not the same like gremlin monkey mind thing happening where people tend to lapse into self-criticism, self-doubt, where they're having conflicts with everyone around them because they're carrying so much tension. So that's the second benefit. And that's my client T who really said it the best. And then the third thing, I'm going to talk about a client with the first initial E. She had profound closure from her past marriages. She had 2 previous marriages and divorces. And she really values partnership. She really wants to be married. She wants to have a life partner. And the problem was she had so much hurt and pain from those first 2 marriages that it was very hard for her to open her heart again. Inside the Mindful Dating program, she was able to come to a place of closure with both of those relationships. And as a result of the closure, she had extreme clarity about what it was she wanted to create with a partner in the future and the type of partner who was going to work well for her. So she got closure, wasn't looking back at the past anymore, and was ready to tackle the future. So those are the immediate client satisfaction or client success stories. And a lot of clients have similar experiences. I'm just picking these 4 or 5 clients because they just came immediately to mind when I was thinking about how people succeed inside the Mindful Dating program. Secondly, there's another level of success. So first we have, really within myself and with lots of other people in my life, with coworkers, with family members. That's all great. And then we have things out in the world of dating. How does the Mindful Dating Intensive actually help you date differently? And if you've heard me talk about the Mindful Dating Intensive before, then you know that I ask for people to not date for about 10 weeks. So how on earth does a mindful dating program help you date differently and better if you don't even date for 10 weeks? That's such a legitimate question, and I want to answer that question for you. So first of all, one of the things that one of my clients noticed before she even went on another date was just that her experience in the online world was less toxic. And I wrote a little post about her a couple of days ago. Her name, we're going to call her Cece. She experienced that online dating was less toxic for her. She described things when she started working with me that I can't even repeat. People would just say horrible things to her. Online in the messages or on first dates. It was awful. And she said, none of that is happening this time. I'm not getting any of that. In fact, I'm getting some really nice guys. Things have changed. So the online dating experience she's having is less toxic. I think that we could probably, if you're out there dating and you're in the online space dating, let me know if this sounds like something you want. Would you like it to be less toxic? Because that is what is happening for my client, Cece. She's having a way less toxic experience. It's actually sort of pleasant. The things that are deal breakers are, location, they don't want to move and I don't want to move or something like that. But there's not the toxicity and the ugliness. So that. I have another client. We're going to call her L. Her first initial is L. And she's had this amazingly beautiful piece of success. And it might be underappreciated, but probably not if you suffer from a problem with being excessively people-pleasy. If you get hijacked by people-pleasing parts on dates, chances are good that you will appreciate that my client L is finding herself able to resist people-pleasing. She's able to set boundaries on dates right from the beginning, right on first dates. And that can look a variety of different ways, but that looks like asking for what she wants, saying no to dates that are proposed for times or places that she's not comfortable with. It has everything to do with being able to close with courage and letting people know that you're not a match. So she's not in that and she used to be in this place where she couldn't tell people that they're not a match, and she would just keep dating until they were done. So she's way less people-pleasing, and that is a huge success for her. So that's the second improved dating experience I want to share. The third one is that there's an increase in joy, confidence, and optimism. It totally transforms how you're going to look at how you define success. How are you going to define success in dating? How are you going to know if you're doing it right? totally transformed, very countercultural way of looking at this whole issue. And my client E, who's a different E than the one before, different client E, says that she has more joy and optimism. She's way more resilient. So she would call it dating resilience. She is able to have a disappointing date and not let it ding her confidence. And it used to be the kind of situation where it would really get to her for like a week or two. And she's increasingly able to do that. And she's increasingly optimistic that she could find her person and that person could be out there. She's doing, a lot to clean house and do some inner work to make that more likely. But she has a lot of optimism and a lot more resilience. So it doesn't seem to get her down as much. And she's able to keep moving forward. So that's like the intermediate, I would say, the dating experience parts, where when you start putting into practice everything that you learn in the Mindful Dating program, these are the things you experience. The online world and dating in general just goes better for you. You get better potentials. You do less people pleasing. You're able to set boundaries and ask for what you need. And you have a lot more joy and optimism and resilience. So you're able to persist. So those are 3 more stories of client successes. And then I'm going to share with you 3 additional stories of client successes of my clients who, some of them anyway, who are currently in partnerships. I'm trying to think if there's who I'm forgetting, but I'm going to talk about 3 clients who are currently in partnerships. I'm going to talk about one client who was one of the first beta testers of my very first trial run of the Mindful Dating program. And she met her current partner right after ending Mindful Dating. That was the first date she went on. She continued to date other people, but eventually she settled in with her partner. They are still together a year and a half later. So this is 18 months now. And every now and then I'll just check in with her to see how things are going. And she's like, oh, I feel more love than I've ever felt in my life. This is amazing. My emotional needs are getting met. This is like the best partnership I've ever had. It's really solid. So this is really what I'm working with women to create, is partnerships that are amazing, that meet your emotional needs, that you feel loved and you feel that the other person loves who you are, how you show up, and you love them. You think they're awesome. You can't get enough of them either. So helping people find that kind of partnership. And that's my client S, who never felt more loved in her life. And then I have a client A. A was referred to me by 2 of my former clients, who are both friends of hers, on the same day. I got emails from 2 people referring the same person. And they referred her in because she is a beautiful young woman. She's intelligent. She's ambitious. She runs a business, fantastic human being, and kept dating people who couldn't commit to her, who kind of yanked her chain a little bit, hurt her quite a bit, and just kept dating people who weren't good partners, and it broke her heart. She was hurt all the time. They thought she deserved better. They were 100% right. She totally deserved better. We worked together inside Mindful Dating, and within a couple of weeks of beginning dating, she found a partner that was on the same page as her. So previously she had dated partners who didn't want to get married, didn't want to commit, had one foot in, one foot out. And she knew she wanted to get married and have kids. This was incredibly painful for her. And within a couple of weeks, she met someone who was also ready to get married, ready to commit. She knew herself well enough that she could make a really good assessment of his ability to make a commitment and his ability to meet her emotional needs. They've been together now for 8 months. And he treats her very well, very, very close and connected relationship. And then I have another client, M, who, she took a little bit longer. It took her a little bit longer in Mindful Dating, and it can take longer. It depends on what you have in your background. It depends on what else is going on in your life that might complicate or interfere with your ability to really, pay lots and lots of attention to dating. So if you have medical problems, if work is, if you're working 80 hours a week, it's going to definitely impair your ability to work in Mindful Dating. And she had a few other, few things like that. And then the other issue that can happen for people is if you have childhood trauma, adolescent trauma, or a lot of loss in your history, it's just going to take a little bit longer to work through some of that. But my client Melissa went through the Mindful Dating Intensive, stayed with me through the Journeys program. We've been working together for a little over a year. And she now has a partner, and how she describes it is she's moving towards an earned, secure adult attachment. They have a very close and connected relationship. They are able to have conversations that are deeply emotionally meaningful. The goal of their conversation is always to understand each other better, even when there's a little bit of conflict involved. And because of what she has learned inside the Mindful Dating Intensive, she's better able to navigate anxious parts that come up and avoidant parts that come up, so that she's not really getting hijacked by the push-pull. She's not in that needy dependent place. Neither is she picking fights and storming out because she just needs to needs to defuse the closeness. She can't handle the closeness. So really able to stay in this connection and able to work towards that earned, secure adult attachment. So those are the types of successes that people have after they've completed the Mindful Dating Intensive, sometimes with the help of the Journeys program, other times independently of the Journeys program. And what that looks like is a partnership where you feel loved, your emotional needs are met, and that your partner feels the same way. A partner who's on the same page as you related to what you want out of life and out of commitment and relationship, what you're aiming for, and feeling like your inner system is finding its calm and its comfort within you. And it's doing so in a way that allows you to create connection and intimacy with another person. So if that's the kind of situation you're aiming for, Mindful Dating is 100% for you, because it's really geared to helping people clear up the past, date with very focused, intentional strategy, and have relationships from a place of self that allows you and your partner to experience immense intimacy, personal growth, spiritual fulfillment, and joy, happiness. So those are the client success stories that I really wanted to share, so that if you are curious about the Mindful Dating program, like what it really does for you or how it benefits you, that if you could have a sense of what the outcomes are and see if that's something you're interested in. If you are interested, I would love to invite you to my 5-day dating reset that starts on July 24th. If you've already done that, then please just reach out to me in a messenger, and we'll just get you set up for a breakthrough session and see if this is a good fit for you. And if you haven't done the 5-day dating reset, I encourage you to do that, because you'll learn so much more about me and about how I coach. You'll get a lot of good information in that free event that you don't have to pay a dime for, and you should always take advantage of the free things that I do. And I will make the very best offer that I ever make for my services at the end of that event. So if you're interested, please check that out. That is what I have for you today. I will be popping along into these videos to look at chats later. I'm not able to see them come through when I'm on StreamYard. Y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, next week, not tomorrow.